Minister of Information, regulators, media owners and key players in the digital transition process. The lawmakers emphasized the importance of the digital switchover.
The digital switchover, as you are aware, is a global innovation currently making waves around the world. It is a time-bound with dire consequences for countries that are unable to switch over at the given deadline.
The National Broadcasting Commission, speaking on the ongoing process, outlined steps that have been taken so far.
A trust fund run by very eminent Nigerians. And then that money will be set aside to be able to get young people to have access for funds to be able to produce programs for Nigerian television channels.
The Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, says there is a need to review the business model inherited from the previous administration before the set deadline. But can that deadline be achieved?
Yes, we know it's very, very ambitious. But if you aim for the sky, you might at least get the ceiling. We don't want to say, oh, June 2017 is unachievable. We'll relax. But if we are able to roll out another six by May, then we know where we are.
For the Chairman, Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, BORN, and the Chairman, Channels Media Group, Mr. John Momo, emphasis should be placed on ensuring that the interest of stakeholders and the country is put first.
But again, I say that we shouldn't be looking at deadlines. I think we should just work towards making sure that we have a very good switchover. When we set a deadline, we put ourselves under pressure. The ministry is working very well with the border states to make sure that there's no confusion in terms of interference. We should just be focused and see how can we transit to digital rather than emphasize deadlines. Deadlines will put us in trouble.
Another interesting public hearing during the week was a hearing on the 2017 budget. This is the first time the National Assembly is organizing a public hearing on the budget. For the presiding officers of both chambers, the National Assembly is determined to transform the 2017 budget proposal into a development tool.
We pass an appropriation bill every year, and 2017 will not be an exception. But we have tasked ourselves, particularly this year, on reforms of the budget process to ensure a more transparent and accountable system.
While government has made efforts to ensure that the provisions in the budget proposal aligns with the arcing goal of putting the economy out of recession and laying the foundation for diversified growth, certain provisions are clearly off the path. The budget must address the critical issues setting back our national growth and development.
For some of those invited to make presentations at the event, government is yet to take a strong stand to confront the challenges facing the country.
To confront the challenges is not yet there. I have not seen it in the way we are doing our budgetary process. I have not yet seen it in the ultimate demonstration of that momentum that will bring the transformation that we need.
We keep on budgeting, throwing money, but not really addressing the problems from the fundamental root in an organized and coordinated manner, as other countries that we are striving to compete with do. Annual budgeting and spending money on developmental interventions in a non-coordinated manner will never solve our problem.
The Ministry of Budget and National Planning reacts to some of the issues raised.
The concerns have been expressed are reflected in the budget. The need for us to spend our way out of recession is reflected in the budget. There is no increase in VAT, there is no increase in companies' income tax, there is no increase at all in taxes. But people who are not paying their taxes should pay, because it is unfair that some people are paying, others are not paying. So the idea is to increase revenue by broadening the tax base.
The National Assembly says it intends to use the forum to collate views and opinions that will help ensure that the 2017 budget is one that meets the challenges confronting the country.
The chairman, Senate Committee on Appropriation, Senator Danju Magoje, spoke with journalists in the National Assembly on the 2017 budget public hearing.
The aims, as we constantly repeated in our various remarks during these 3 days, is to engage the Nigerian public in the budget making process. You know, the normal thing they have been doing in the National Assembly these past years is that the executive prepare the budget, draft budget, and the National Assembly will exclusively work on it. And the best that they go out of the way is to just listen to the defense of the budget by the bureaucrats. But it is the same thing. It is the bureaucrats that prepare the initial draft. So the previous budgets, except this year's budget, had always been the product of the executive and the legislature. There was no practical or known or remarkable input by the Nigerian public into the budget making process. Although I don't want to say that the involvement of the public is deep enough this year, but it is the beginning of a process. They say it's better late than never. Until we have set the process in motion, I am very sure next year, when another budget comes, or later in the year, if we have any supplementary, we will have observed maybe the shortcomings of this maiden outing and improve on it. But by and large, we have achieved our objective. If you see, by the level of turnout to the public hearing, we're estimating about 61 organizations and civil societies that will respond, that will come before us. But far more than that number came to us.